Welcome back to the Scaling Up Business Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Adelman, and we're joined here today by Alex Holzer. Welcome from Australia.
Hi there, Eric. Nice to be with you.
Great to have you on. So you are a communications coach. Tell us a little bit about what that means and how an entrepreneur can gain from being a better communicator.
Simply put, everybody's got a message to share. Everybody's got a story to tell. Everybody's in business to try and tell people what they can do and get them on board. So you got a lot of professionals who are very, very good at their job. They are highly qualified lawyers, accountants, investors, bankers, brokers. They're not always good at getting out in front of an audience and pitching their products, pitching their services, selling their business, getting themselves out to clients. And especially in professional services, you'll have people who have studied for a long time and then worked as interns and as juniors in the back office, working on paperwork, working on their skills, but then the people skills are lacking. And then when they get promoted to partner to a senior position, they need to go out there and actually start selling and bringing in big clients. They've neglected their personal skills for many, many years. And that's where I come in. I go into businesses, I deal with individuals, and I'm out there helping them drill down, focus on their message, and figure out how to get it across to their audience, to their prospective clients, and basically how they can connect with an audience and get their message across effectively.
So basically, it's not just about doing what you do really well. It's about being able to communicate that with others and being able to engage with them on some kind of a deeper level. Correct.
It's about making that connection and being able to let that person actually understand what you're doing, not being salesy, not being very slimy about it, but to be very genuine and to really offer value and a decent service to people.
Right. Okay. So if you had to pack in a little bit, a couple good nuggets, what are the top, one or two things that somebody who wants to get better at being a communicator in whatever way they're communicating, what's the best thing that they can do to start? A book they can read, aside from this, awesome interview, what else can they do?
The truth be told, that we're always communicating. Human beings are always speaking to each other. It's, but it's the same way the person goes to a physiotherapist to learn how to walk or run better or sit or stand better if they got a bad back. It's things that we do all the time, but there are some people who are tuned in and can help you make those adjustments to do it better. We're not learning a skill that nobody knows about here. We're learning about something that you do all the time. You're just coming to a coach to help you fine-tune certain things and get it better. So a person themselves, awareness is the number one thing. I say the learning public speaking, the best place to learn public speaking is in the audience. Because you sit there listening and you know which speakers you actually enjoyed and which speakers you were like, I wasn't really paying attention. I'd rather get out of there sooner. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why somebody appealed to you, someone's speaking style came across and connected with you. And there's a reason why other people, you were turned off. You actually noticed something about them or their style or their lack of content that didn't connect. So you're actually mentally taking notes. You just got to be aware of it and be aware of those notes that you're taking. Because every time you see, you just had an election campaign, every time you had somebody get up and speak at a rally, you were looking at them and saying, I don't really believe what they're saying. Oh, that's something serious and might make me change my vote. You're judging these sorts of communication all the time. Just to be aware of it and notice that all the time, and you will start to pick up a lot of valuable information.
Okay, so number one is awareness, and just being in the audience and seeing what makes you feel connected to the speaker as a listener. Those are probably the things that are going to help you be more connected to the audience as the speaker when everything is flipped.
Absolutely.
How much of it is art and how much is science? Because I'm sure, I don't know anything about the science, but there must be some behind it, where these are objective things that everybody has to do if you want to be a good speaker. And if you want to communicate properly, what are some of those objective things? And what are the softer points that are a little bit more nuanced?
So I have a structure that I follow in my coaching, which is the why, the what, and the how. The why is, why are you the one up there speaking? That's always people's biggest fear, the stage fright. Why are you the one up there, the imposter syndrome and all that? If you can answer that question to yourself, do you know why I'm up here today? I'm up here because I'm the one who drove this project at work and therefore I'm the one to get the award. I'm the one who's pitched the idea. I'm the one whose daughter is getting married. So I have a reason to be there. Once you've justified that, you have a platform from which to stand. You can move on to the what, which is your topic, your content, what you're actually going to say, which only comes after you feel justified being there. And then the how is the final step, which is the packaging, whether you're going to be humorous, whether you're going to come with facts and figures, with slideshows at the presentation. And I think that goes into your question. It's a hierarchy of why, what, and how. And the how, which everybody seems to get lost in. I need to have a great joke, need to have a great hook, I need to be personable.
Those are the details that come after, I guess.
And that's the soft stuff that can all come. Once you know exactly what and why is going on, that sort of falls into place. You already know what is appropriate, what's not appropriate, what's going to work, what's not going to work.
I love that framework because that's really actionable. Why, what, and how. If you think about those three things before you're going to be on a video, giving a speech, presenting to a crowd, something like that, all of that framework gives you an ability to feel confident about what you're doing and meet the audience where they are and deliver the message that you want to deliver in a way that they're going to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how did you get into this? Like, were you born speaking? Like what,
yeah.
How did this become your life?
Yeah, there's no real amazing story of transformation or something. This is actually the constant that was the common denominator throughout my life. I was involved in a number of other things, and it took life circumstances where I had to sort of change industry, sell my other business that I was running, and move into something else. And I really had to fall back on what I was good at and say, hold on a second, I am good at this. People come to me for advice on it. Let's turn this into something that I can do full time, because it's an area where I know I'm a step ahead of the game. I was involved in another industry. I was involved in the art industry, selling paint to artists. It was a great, great business. I really enjoyed it. But I saw other businesses that were at the similar level to where I was. They sort of entered the game at the same time and had the same sort of ideas that I had of launching an online store, developing different products, branching it out, scaling it up. And I saw them fly many steps ahead of me, and I was falling behind. And I understood why. It was because they were living the game. There was an artist running it. There was a framer running it. There was someone running a gallery running the business, and they were in it. And I didn't have that. I was coming with business knowledge and business advice, and I was following the set course, and it was working, but I wasn't going to catch them. And when I had to change because I had certain life circumstances that caused me to change, I said, look, I've got to find something where I can always be a leader. I can always be driving, where I can always come along with initiative that's going to cause people to draw themselves to me, because, I've got something to offer that's not just generic. It's not just the same as everybody else. I've got my own insights here. And that's what I did. So, I had to dig deep in what I was good at, and what I looked at in the past as just being, quote unquote, a hobby or a side skill, and turn that into the main show.
So I think that is actually a really powerful personal story where you're looking at, okay, I'm good at running an art supply business, but I'm never going to be the best because I'm not inherently passionate about this any more than anybody else. Or about, I'm not more passionate about this than I would be about selling, computer speakers or something else. So where am I going to be able to utilize my skill set in a way that's more powerful than what anybody else in the world can do? And, I can tell from the speaking with you these few minutes, you have a calm, clear demeanor about you, and you can communicate in a way that most people can't. And most people are really afraid of it, to be honest. Like that's one of, that old joke, like if you're at a funeral, the person, you'd rather be in the box than delivering the eulogy. So that's really true for a lot of people, and they're scared to communicate with people. They're scared how they're going to come off, and they're scared. They're stage fright, imposter syndrome, whatever else is holding them back from communicating. Communicating in a way that they want to powerfully. So, and that doesn't mean that they're necessarily scared of presenting in front of 200 people. It could be have butterflies in your stomach in a meeting with 8 people that you know well on a project that you worked on, and you just don't want to see yourself as the center of attention. And I think if you go through that framework that you outlined, that's a good way for anybody, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're scaling a business, whether you're just somebody on the team, to be able to powerfully connect with the audience.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Anything, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, how can they reach you?
They can hop onto my website. So it's gainyourvoice.com, or the short way is gyv.com.au. I'm Australian, so it's a .au at the end. But being online, we service the world. If they want to get in touch with me a little bit more personally, check me up on LinkedIn, because I do post a lot over there. And I try to post kind of the thought process, what's going on behind the scenes, why I do things, when something has been a breakthrough with a client, when I've seen success. If you really want to understand what's happening, that's what I would say. Come and follow me on LinkedIn. But if you hop onto the website, there is a free training course available there on the website, a mini series, and there's a full course available for sale there as well. Great content that you can really, really take your time to watch and to rewatch and to learn and get a lot of skills from.
Okay, Alex, thank you so much for coming on. I love the message. Why, what, and how. That's such a great framework to be able to think through what gives you the right and what gives you the ability and what you're going to talk about whenever you're communicating with an audience. Thank you so much for sharing the story.
No worries. Thanks for the opportunity.